You. Let me holler at you for a minute. Right? So in this video, I just want to talk about how you don't choose your mission choose you. And I got this idea because I was watching this show. Actually, I just finished the first season. I watch this show whenever I eat, and it's called the 3 Body Solution, right? So, long story short, is 3 characters, 1 main character, but 3 characters in the show who get selected to be on this team, and their task is basically trying to figure out a way to defeat these aliens. And they've been given like full reign over any resource that they need. And this team is known as the Wallbringers. So one of these Wallbringers, his name is Saul, which I think is interesting because of him being chosen. And if you're familiar with the story in the Bible, the character Paul, his original name was Saul, and he used to decapitate Christians and then ended up becoming one. But anyway, that's another story. But so Saul gets chosen to be one of these Wallbringers, and it's just the whole way that it happened that was just like it just hit me, and I get it, because like how he said on the Matrix, it's like a splinter in your mind. Like if you ever had a splinter before, like it's there and it's annoying and it's painful, but it's so small that you could ignore it, but it's still there. So Saul basically gets an attempt on his life by these cars, autonomous cars, which was interesting, right? All 3 of these, when the investigator came to him, they're like, hey, all 3 of these cars got taken over right when you was about to, right before that skateboarder knocked you down. When that skateboarder knocked you down, he saved your life, because the girl he was with got hit and died. He was like, that was an attempt on your life. That wasn't an accident. He thought it was an accident. So he's like, what's going on? He was like, I don't know. This is the cop. Like, cop is also one of the kind of like the main characters in there. He's like, I don't know, but whoever it is wants you dead. So he has this like bulletproof clothing for him to put on, like already ready, which means that like the kind of like they was tipped ahead of time, but they wasn't tipped ahead of time enough to prevent that attempt. So boom, they give Saul the bulletproof clothing, and then he's got like just mad security, like just mad security guards. He just guarded up. Like they escort him to this airport where, mind you, his escort had to be at least like 10 vehicles. You know what I mean? Like on some presidential type stuff, but like high profile person type movement. Boom, take him down there. He on they take him to the private jet. He's on there like all strapped down. And he's like, yo, you gonna tell me what's going on? He like, look, man, I don't even know what's going on. All I know is they told me to protect you. Once we get there, they're gonna let you know what it is. Boom. They take him take him down to this John. Take him down to the John. Right. So he gets down there, and they're just like, talking about, she's giving this speech to like the world government about how, we gonna fight these aliens, and even though it's 400 years from now, we're gonna try to get a jump on it, and we gonna stand for humankind, blah 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 blah. So she starts calling the three up, the Wallbringers. Now he still don't know he a Wallbringer yet. He just know he got escorted to this place or whatever. So boom, they call the first Wallbringer. It's like this general. Like this Chinese or Asian general. I'm sorry, I don't know if he's Chinese. Forgive me if I just profiled the man, but he looked Asian. I don't know. I'll just say Asian. It's Asian general. And yeah, he's one of the Wallbringers. They call another woman. She's like this physicist. And she did a bunch of other things, but like she's also like this high profile person, right? So then they call him, and he looking around like, nah, bro, there's no way they calling me. Like, I'm a low level physicist. Like, I should not be here right now. Like, and everybody's looking at him, and he's just like, all right, he goes up there, whatever. So after that whole like meeting or whatever, he's talking to the woman that was giving the whole presentation, and he's just like I get them too, like they're in books, you know what I'm saying? They're war heroes, whatever, but why me? And she's like, basically like, you got a gift that we need, you got something that we need. So he's like, all right, so since I've been given all this authority and I can pretty much do whatever I want, I reject this position. And she was just like, all right, it's as you say, Mr. Wallbringer. And he's like, I'm not a Wallbringer. She's like, you're right, you're not a Wallbringer, Mr. Wallbringer. So anyway, he go to leave. He's like, I can leave, right? She was like, yeah, you could do whatever you want because you're the Wallbringer. He's like, all right. So boom, he going to leave out, and like the cop that was like guarding him like stops him, and he's like, hey, where you going? He's like, I rejected the position. I don't want to do the shit. So he's like, all right. And he's like, I want to leave. And they're like, well, we have to do what you say. So he's like, no, I want to leave by myself. Like, I don't need no protection. Like, forget y'all. Boom, walks out, gets shot by a sniper. Attempt on his life. You know what I mean? The sniper didn't hit him in the head. You know what I mean? Hit the bulletproof clothing he had on. Thank God he still had it on. He didn't take it off. So boom, he wake up in the hospital. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, I forgot to mention this guy. It was another guy that got assigned to him. He's like his daily like liaison. So when he wakes up, first off, he thanks the cop. He's like, hey man, thank you for, I'm sorry about leaving and protect. He was like, man, it was my job to protect you, and I wasn't doing my job. Like, I'm sorry. He like, no, you tried to protect me. I didn't. I put myself in danger. Like, I should have just listened to you, whatever. So when the liaison dude comes in, he's like, yo, talking to his liaison, like, yo, did you tell, is this public? And he was like, yeah, it's public. Everybody knows that you're one of the Wallbringers. And he's like, did you tell him what I said? He said, yes, I told him that you rejected the position as the Wallbringer and that you don't want to do it. He was like, all right, so why are you still here? He said, because I'm your daily liaison. So it's like he's trying to relinquish this position, and it's like you don't get to make that choice. Like if you're chosen, you're chosen. You don't get to make the choice whether you want to be relinquished from this position or not. Like you've been chosen, dude. You've been chosen, my guy. You hear me? So just all that to say. And he eventually he accepted the position. But just all that to say is you don't get chose. I mean, you don't get to choose. You get chosen. And it's like they said, Mission Impossible. This is your mission if you choose to accept it. You know what I mean? So all that to say is you don't get to choose whether you're chosen or not. And what do I mean by, like, let me make this more relatable, right? There is something that you're supposed to be doing. Not necessarily supposed to be doing, but there's some assignment that you have. You know what I mean? Now, what that assignment is, I feel like you, as an individual, you got to figure that out. And one way I think is very beneficial in a way to figuring out what that is what is your biggest problem? 9 times out of 10, whatever your biggest problem is, there's a bunch of other people with that same problem. And if you can solve that problem for yourself, you can help other people solve that problem. And then, let's say too, you're just able to just solve somebody else's problem. Maybe it's not your problem. Maybe it's just somebody else's problem. Whatever it is, you've been sent here to solve a problem. So, whatever problem that is, on whatever level that is, it could be a big problem, it could be a small problem. You know what I mean? Whatever that problem is, you got a problem to solve. It's no getting out of it. You got to solve this problem. In this life or the next. This problem is going to keep coming around until you solve it. It's like a splinter in your mind. So, once again, find a problem. I will say this, if it's your problem, it's probably going to be a lot more, you'll be able to relate with a lot more people a lot closer because you actually have the problem, so it'll be easier to solve. But it don't necessarily got to be your problem. It could just be something you see. Like, one thing to pay attention to is think about the things that come in your sphere. Like, if you notice that people are always talking about you as the healthy guy, if people are always coming to you talking about health, asking you about health questions, you might want to position yourself. It might be beneficial for you to position yourself as the health guy. You know what I mean? Now, I would definitely say, like, you should be on top of your health first and foremost before you go trying to fix everybody else's health problems. But at the same time, regardless of how much on top of your health you was, if you notice it keep coming your way, it's almost like somebody knocking at your door, beeping their horn, whatever it is to get your attention. You know what I mean? But you can also solve other people's problems too. They don't necessarily got to be your problem. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't know, one thing that may be also beneficial is, you know, the etiology that I talk about on my channel. I mean, you can go check about, I got a bunch of previous videos about etiology. I even put, you know, where to get report, where to get coaching, all that is all in those previous videos. But look at some of your strengths and things that you've done that you're good at already. This was one thing that I did recently. I was like, what have I been doing for, like, let's just say the last 5 years? You know what I mean? Like, and I looked at that thing and I was just like, Well, why don't I just get really good at that? So like, why don't I just get really good at it? Yeah, I mean, people find that service valuable. It's not even just about the pay. That particular thing that I provided is valuable. I know it's valuable because of the feedback that I get from it. You know, when people, you know, tell me that, hey, this is good, this was beneficial for me, this helped me, blah 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 blah, or even asking questions, hey, how can I do this? And then, you know, I'm creating that piece of content for, yeah, I mean, that particular issue, because like I do that too. But yeah, I mean, like, just get good at what you do. And if some of the competition in some of those niches that you in is better than you, like, go learn from them. Like, sometimes you need to go learn skills from people that are better than you. I mean, so you can get better. Like, perfect your craft. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all.